Hello and welcome to the channel. Now, you guys have been asking us to test air fryers for ages. So today, we have teamed up with Instant Brands who have sent us one of their machines and challenged us to create an epic 5-course meal using your suggestions. So myself and the food team have had a proper play with this for a few weeks to get to grips with it, but today is the first time that our normal home cooks are getting their hands on it.
5 courses in one video.
5 courses in one meal, sounds about right. Yeah. Ebba's going to use my chefy intuition and say pane station.
Yep, so we're going to make croquetas. So Spanish in approach and method, but we're going to mix up the flavours to use some other global influences. You've got a bechamel sauce in front of you, which is really thick and then cooled.
That's a short crust pastry.
Divide it by 2, so put half into the big bowl with 2 other flavours, charred corn and jalapeno, and then the remaining half can be mixed with dukkha and sultana.
I've never handled a bechamel sauce.
No.
And once you've done that, we're going to double pane them, so back through egg and breadcrumbs. The reason being, they're going to have the cooking in the air fryer across 8 minutes, rather than maybe 3 or 4 in a deep fat fryer. And therefore, they'll have chance to expand as they heat up. You don't want them to pop. So it's going to give you the extra bit of security. While you're finishing off your balls, if one of you have got a relatively clean hand, you can preheat the air fryer. So select air fryer, 205 degrees, 8 minutes on one of the drawers, and then just sync cook, and it'll automatically put the second drawer at exactly the same. When it gets to temperature, it will tell you to load the drawers. You can put one flavour in one drawer and one flavour in the other.
This is completely alien to me. I've never used an air fryer before. I hear about it everywhere, so I'm still trying to work it out.
I've never air fried before.
So essentially, it's a heating element at the top, and then a fan that pushes that hot air down onto the food. So you tends to cook quicker, but it's not submersed in the oil, so it's a little bit healthier. One flavour in one drawer, give them an oil spray, and the other flavour in the other drawer.
So they're going on a rack that's raised, so like in the middle of the oven, so they get air all around?
Yeah, so the fan is basically going to spray and circulate that hot air.
And then it automatically starts timing down.
While you're waiting for it, you can make a super simple dip.
Oh, hello.
So you could make a dip, or you could get some chefs to put all the ingredients in a bowl, and I'm guessing we're going to
make a 5-course meal, and I don't want to be here all day. I know what you two are like. So what you've got is yogurt, mayonnaise, mustard, lemon juice, lemon zest, salt and pepper.
Stir your own dip. You stir the dip.
The perfect dip that will work with both charred corn and jalapeno and our sultana and dukkha.
Get a nice sense of achievement there.
Yeah. Serve them up.
That was not a lot of time, and they are very hot and crispy.
Garnish with some fresh herbs, and you've got your dipping sauce to go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Woo!
That bechamel's gone lovely and gooey.
Gooey on the bechamel. I can hear the crunch.
That's got the magic combo of gooey middle and crispy outside. I'm a fan of that.
As a 5-course meal, we're off to a banging start. I've just realised we're going to eat every course as we go along.
Yeah, you don't have to eat all of every course.
We are.
So one of the suggestions was that a toasted cheese sandwich or a grilled cheese works wonders in an air fryer, and there was also people saying they use them just to reheat things. So we thought, let's combine the two with French onion soup. So in this instance, you're going to use the drawers for different things. Drawer 1 is going to be on reheat, 140 degrees Celsius, and drawer number 2 is going to be on bake at 160 for 6 minutes. So variable control and variable temperatures. And in the reheat drawer, you're going to spoon your French onion soup into your dishes and reheat them whilst you bake the croûtes in the other side.
Obviously, we've got a fancy air fryer that's got dual drawers in it. Would you just do this one after the other, these processes, if you had a standard single drawer one?
Yeah, the fact that this has kind of got the 6 cooking functions, essentially it's adjusting the temperature at which it operates. So for the reheat lower temperature, you can reheat your soup, then you can, once it's up to temperature, you could bake off your croûtes. And finally, once both of those are done, grate the cheese, add it onto the croûte, add the croûte onto the soup, and then grill at a higher temperature for less time.
Onions have been reheated.
And the beauty about this particular dish is it now goes soggy on the bottom from the onion soup and kind of crispy around the edges, but also the molten cheese that we love of a grilled cheese on top. And then we're going to grill it at 200. And whilst we wait, we can make a lovely French salad to go with it, which is cornichon, all chopped up, mixed with mustard, vinegar, and then toss that through with some fresh watercress.
This grill is like mega intense. The thing with my oven at home, it takes a while for the grill to heat up. And it's a big oven, and that's not a very big dish. It seems to be more focused.
Focused, and obviously you've got the fan which is pushing the hot air directly onto it.
That does look a little bit special.
It does.
Dig in.
Oh, cheesy onion goodness. Stunning.
I love French onion soup because the richness and the indulgence of it, the beefiness and the cheesiness. So don't have soup and a grilled cheese on the side.
Cook your grilled cheese in your soup.
Yes.
Happy?
What?
Did you eat my crouton?
Was that yours? I'm sorry.
Nibbles, soup course.
Fish course.
Ooh.
Really excited for this one. This is combining lots of different suggestions. It's going to start with roasting asparagus. So preheat one of the drawers to roast at 200 degrees Celsius for 6 minutes. And as soon as it's preheated, you can whack the asparagus. All you need to do is give it a quick spritz of oil and they'll roast in there in 6 minutes, super simple. So it's pretty good for roasting all sorts of veg, but there was one suggestion for barbecue seasoned asparagus. And what I thought was, I quite like the idea of doing asparagus, but we're going to mix up the flavours to take it to India.
Okay.
Because the second suggestion was something like fish fingers. So we're going to make ourselves some Indian-inspired fish fingers by taking salmon, coating it in egg white and corn flour, and then dipping it into smashed up Bombay mix.
And I'm guessing, does the Bombay mix almost like protect the fish from the heat a bit more then?
Yes, and in the same breath, don't forget it's already been fried. So whereas the first course, we had dry breadcrumbs that we had to spray with oil, anything you buy that's already been fried, fish fingers, chicken nuggets, chicken dippers, anything that's already been fried is ideal in here because the fat on the thing sizzles.
Are we just doing a single dip?
Yep, single dip on this just to coat it. And then you can preheat your second drawer to air fry, 205 degrees Celsius, 4 minutes.
205 feels really hot.
205 is definitely hotter than if you were doing oil. You would have it at maybe 180, 190 at a push before you start getting to a smoke point of oil. Here you've got the fierce heat, which is why 4 minutes is enough. Look at that. Give it a little sort of mix up on the plate with some of that aubergine pickle.
What are you doing?
He said...
I just kind of just shush it up.
I've just shushed it up. But...
To cut through the oily fish and the spice of the pickle, a little yoghurt raita. So you've got cucumber, fresh mint, all the ingredients there. Zhuzhi zhuzh.
Oh!
And with a bit of luck, 4 minutes at 205, we should have bianqui, which means literally just cooked. So you'll have the salmon inside that's just on the edge.
He's got it. No! Oh, it's great.
Why do you sound so surprised?
Teamwork.
Look at us.
Oh, you've just got a little bit of... There we go.
Right.
What do you reckon?
Oh.
As you said, Evers, perfectly al dente. Cheers. We've paneed with breadcrumbs. We've paneed with crisps. Why have we never paneed with Bombay mix before?
Does all the hard work for you, and because it's already been fried, it is a wonderful even golden brown in the fryer, and I think the asparagus roasting is super quick, and then you can toss it through any dressing for the summer.
What's nice about it, you've got little charred black bits, and usually it takes quite a long time in the oven to get that char, and by that point, they sometimes can be quite dry.
Fancy a meat course?
Thought you'd never ask.
So we're thinking roast chicken, roast potatoes, and a romesco sauce. Start with a romesco. Roast setting, 205 degrees, 8 minutes in drawer 1, and then if you push sync function, it will just copy paste it across. While it's preheating, you can halve and de-seed your peppers. We've done some of them for you.
You say some of them, you mean he's done all of them but one?
All of them but one.
All right, see if you can get it done before it preheats.
I'm not falling for your little game, Evers.
So once it's preheated and it asks you to add in your food, we're basically going to add half the peppers into each drawer, a spritz of oil on both, and then cook them. So in those 8 minutes, we should get some nice roasted peppers, and halfway through, it's obviously going to remind you, in case you want to turn it, you might want to take it out and shake it. You can rip up the bread, because essentially once those peppers have roasted, you're going to add in the bread, the almonds, the garlic for another 2 minutes of roasting, and then you can tip it all out into your bowl and blitz it with a stick blender along with olive oil and sherry vinegar. Once we've done our sauce, we're going to use the drawers to do 2 different things: chicken thighs in one and roasted rosemary potatoes in the other.
Yes!
So different times and temperatures for each. You can oil, salt and pepper your spuds.
Oh, yes.
The machine's going to do some maths for you.
It's your dream, isn't it?
So drawer 1 set to roast at 180 for 25 minutes. That's going to be for your potatoes. And drawer 2 set to air fry at 205 for 20 minutes. So different functions, different temperatures and different times. If you now push sync finish and then push start.
Okay, so one is starting before the other, so they both finish at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it knows how long it's going to take to preheat. So when drawer 1 is preheated enough, it'll tell you to add your potatoes. It'll also remind you to shake them halfway through. It'll also start drawer 2 at the right time to get to the right temperature to tell you to put your second thing in, and again to turn it halfway. Now, in your second drawer, when it is ready, we're just going to put 4 chicken thighs. So many people said you've got to do chicken wings in an air fryer, and we did do them. They're absolutely brilliant, but not ideal for this dish to serve this way, but the same logic.
We're not adding any other seasonings, any flavours.
You can season the skin if you wish, but essentially no added oil because you're using the natural fats from the chicken skin. So something like a chicken wing, anything that's already got that fat. All you need to do is keep an eye on the machine because it will tell you when to add stuff, when to turn over or toss stuff. But in the meantime, 6 tablespoons of oil and 2 tablespoons of sherry vinegar into your roasted stuff and blitz to a sauce. Machine's beeping at you.
Hello!
Add
food! Hup.
Get your chicken in. Last minute cooking, toss your rosemary in with your potatoes.
Personally, the thing that appeals to me is the size of that, like especially if I was just cooking a small meal for Austin, like just one of those, I could cook a whole meal with that for him.
Yeah.
And it's done, and he eats separately to us sometimes as well. So.
Yeah.
Number 4, a midweek roast, done.
It's pretty easy, wasn't it?
That was the easiest so far. Wow.
I remember we used to share out the food so that people on the side got to eat some too. I missed that.
You haven't done...
Any cooking, have you?
Yeah, you haven't done any cooking.
Dig in.
Bang.
I mean, it's simple food, but it's simple food done well, right?
There's not much better in the world than a roast potato.
Oh, see, look, there you go.
Very juicy.
Juicy everywhere. Yeah. That was so simple.
This is all chicken flavour, nothing else.
The most complicated thing we did on that plate isn't on the plate. It was the sauce. And I'd be happy just to serve that chicken and potatoes.
Some mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. I wouldn't even make it, Evers. It's coming straight from the squeezy bottle. And that'd be perfect.
And that's why we have normals and why we have chefs.
How sweet are we going, Ebbers?
So many comments suggested donuts have to be tried in air fry because if you're doing fried food, donuts is a classic dessert. But rather than bobbing around in oil, we're going to do them here. So you've got a dough, it's already been kneaded and proved once. You can cut out little discs. So this is an enriched dough, close to brioche. In this instance, we're going to cut out little discs, and the second proof happens in the machine.
This is the first recipe so far where I'd say I would never even attempt to make this in a traditional oven. It had to be fried.
The machine has a dehydrate function, which is great for like sliced fruit or half cherry tomatoes. You can basically dry your own bits and pieces. But we're going to use it as a proving drawer.
So hang on a second, this isn't like a proving function.
It's at proving temperature. At 54, you'll kill the yeast. You want to take it down to as low as it'll go about 35. So what you've got there are ones that we have pre-proved in the drawer already. You can see the difference between the unproved and the very pillowy proved ones. Now 2 things are going to happen. In drawer 1, preheat to air fry for your donut, so 205 degrees Celsius, 4 minutes. And in drawer 2, you're going to do a reheat function, 120 degrees Celsius for 8 minutes. You're going to mix white chocolate, marshmallow and whipping cream. This is going to be an excellent dipping sauce.
This feels naughty.
It does feel really naughty.
But because it's going in a gentle reheat function, it's slowly going to melt the chocolate, melt the marshmallows, the cream, and then we can stir it all together once it's done. And in drawer 1, once you've preheated, you're going to very carefully lift up and pop your donuts onto the rack. Spray them, and then they'll need 4 minutes. And this will be the big difference really between donut and brioche, because it's a sweet enriched dough and you're going to cook it in the air fryer. You need to add some oil to the top so that you get some sizzle and even golden brown. We've also given you some caster sugar and some cinnamon which you can combine, because the moment those donuts are done, you're going to want to toss them in the cinnamon sugar.
Well, hey! Voila. Ooh, okay.
Straight into the sugar while it's nice and hot. Zhuzh, zhuzh, and get your next 4 in, Baz.
They look more like dough balls. Sorry, Evans.
Donuts and dippy sauce.
Tell you what, because he's been so lovely this whole video, should we give him a donut?
I'm going to say no.
Have a dunk. Can I have one? I've been so patient. All this, yes.
So the outside of the donut is not as crisp as it would be if it had been fried in the traditional manner. It's a slightly different texture, but the inside is just as fluffy as you'd want it to be.
And I'm not even going to start to presume that these or anything we've done today is healthy, inverted commas, but it is using like 95% less oil, which also means you haven't got that vat of oil that you have to get rid of once it's been used.
Before doing this, I assumed air fryer was a replacement for a deep fat fryer. Actually today, the ones that have jumped out to me are the chicken and the asparagus. In terms of, I can relate to that, I can intense direct heat from a fan and getting that char and keeping that tender juiciness inside as well. Smart.
The peppers from the romesco sauce, how quickly they cooked and started to char in the air fryer, that for me was a favourite bit. And I think these, although a slightly different texture on the outside to normal donuts, they're spectacular. I know this machine is more of a fancier air fryer with lots of other functionality as well, but I'm really interested to try more air frying, just as a general cooking method. Yeah, it's opened a whole new world to me.
Question for you guys, which of those 5 courses did you prefer, or what do you cook at home in your air fryer? Comment down below.
And a massive thank you to Instant Brands for teaming up with us on this video. If you want to find out more information about them and a cheeky little discount, all the information is down below.
We look tired.
I know, we're at the right time. Yeah. Ben, would that be the instant...
Oh, I jumped thinking you were going to read it out.